Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Monday, May the 4th, 2026, in the fifth week of Easter. The lectionary reading is from the Old Testament book of Exodus, which recounts the children of Israel's departure from Egypt and their life in the desert. The sons of Israel initially went to Egypt to buy grain because a famine had struck their homeland, and Egypt was selling grain. They not only bought grain to feed their families, but to their surprise, found that their brother Joseph, whom they thought was dead, was now the powerful ruler in Egypt, second only to the Pharaoh. Joseph invited his brothers and father to move to Egypt during the famine and promised to care for them. Over time, the family grew in number, becoming a threat to a Pharaoh who did not know all that Joseph had done for Egypt. After Joseph's death, the children of Israel were enslaved in Egypt, and they cried out to God for deliverance. God chose Moses to appeal to the Pharaoh to let the people go. Under miraculous circumstances, God delivered them from Egypt, and they began their journey back to their ancestral promised homeland. The lectionary reading is from Exodus chapter 13, verses 17 to 22. Which way should they take to go home? The shorter route or the scenic route? When Pharaoh allowed the people to leave, God decided not to lead them along the shorter route because it passed through the land of the powerful Philistines. It would have been the most direct route, but for the people, it would have been traumatic. The Philistines were warriors. The people had been bricklayers in Egypt and were not only and were now only just becoming reacquainted with their former occupation as shepherds. They did not stand a chance against the Philistines, so God chose to lead them by the scenic route, the way of the desert, which would include crossing the Red Sea. Just before leaving Egypt, Moses took Joseph's embalmed body with him so that when they reached their promised land, he could be buried among his ancestors. On the scenic route, Moses and his sister Miriam led the people, guided by a pillar of cloud by day to shield them from the sun, and a pillar of fire by night to provide light and warmth. The pillars of cloud and fire continually accompanied them, symbolizing God's constant presence, provision, and protection throughout their journey.